There have been times I'm saying, I don't know what it is, think there's something wrong, and I suspect there's addictions. That's the number one thing. There are addictions that people have that they do not want to reveal. And when there are addictions, nothing else is going to happen. And I've learned that, I mean, when you know what your abilities are and you know what your limitations are, it's easy to start to spot that, but that comes with experience. I'm not saying that every one of these situations, but there's some piece of information I don't have that's critical to this process because I know that we can be successful.
When you say addictions, do you mean primarily like substance abuse or larger?
Good question. Human beings are addiction machines. I want to tell you, I'm addicted to sugar. When I get done with my lunch, I want a cookie. And for 20 minutes, I want a cookie and a cup of coffee, okay? And it runs me. Addictions are stuff that runs you and you're not running it. It can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be sex, it can be work, it can be raising children, it can be going to church. It can be a lot of things. But people know that they're addicted, but that's part of the truth they don't want to face. You see? Well, if they don't want to face it, they're not going to bring it up, but nothing's going to happen here. Because that addiction is taking up a big space in a person's life, and it's held as a secret. Nothing happens.
When you say that you don't treat someone who's actively addicted, does that apply to all those things you mentioned?
No, because there's the psychological addiction, but there's the physical addiction. I mean, I can handle someone like me that's addicted to sugar. I mean, having a cookie isn't going to destroy your life, but it can become a fixation. But when you're addicted to alcohol, you know, you're drinking not only for the momentary relief you get from it, your body's craving it. Okay? Same thing with narcotics, all right? There's this physical, now, but the more subtle ones, I mean, even though if you're addicted to going to church, you can get a rush out of going to church. You can be addicted to anger, all right? Those addictions, you know, are playing just as much of a role, but I guess somehow that's a bit more manageable, but I can talk about that. I can say, well, I can see you're addicted to anger. Well, they never think of themselves being addicted to anger. They just say, well, yeah, I get angry at that. I said, no. Because you're doing damage with your anger, and people are telling you that, and you're still doing it. Well, so maybe we need to go to anger management class, okay? You need some help I can't give you because I only see you once a week. And between these two times, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your family. You need to go to this class. Or you need to go to AA. You need to go to Al-Anon. You need to go to Narconon. You need to go to Sex Anonymous. You need more help than I can give you because I have 40 or 50 clients that I got to see every 2 weeks here. And you need somebody on the phone right now because you're going to go, you're heading for a bar. You need help. I can't give you that help. I can't do that for you. We can still do our work, but you've got to start managing this addiction because as long as that addiction is going on, there's not much we're going to get done here because that's going to undermine everything that we do. Because it's running you, you're not running it.
Do you often uncover people's addictions that they might not want to bring out themselves by family members? Is there?
Oh, sure.
I imagine.
Oh, yeah, sure. People will call me and say, I want you to know this information. I said, well, I can't reveal information to you about what's going on in the session here, but I can take a message for you, and I take that very seriously. Now, whether or not or when I raise that is part of the artwork. All right? I mean, if I want to help somebody, I can't blow the relationship. All right? Got to have a working relationship. So how am I going to get this how am I going to bring this about? Or sometimes I think it may be bogus. I mean, there are situations that if people have been in recovery and the rest of the family still think that they're an addict, but that person has actually cleaned their lives up, but now they're in a dilemma because if the person says, well, I'm okay, then they say, well, you must not be okay because otherwise you're just being defensive. And they go, it's slippery. And you just learn to make those distinctions. But there are times for confrontation. And usually the confrontation comes to, we're not going anywhere here. What's going on? I mean, I'm confronting you right now with that. See, we're having a good conversation, right? And we have some rapport. And I said, come on, you're here for help, but what? There's nothing happening here. And I have enough experience to know that we should be farther along than we are. That's a confrontation. I'm not angry. Confrontation doesn't have to be anger. Confrontation is just, I'm here with a certain information, you're there with other information, and we're looking. Confrontation means fronting together. You're fronting me, I'm fronting you. That's confrontation. It's not anger. People are afraid to confront because they're afraid of anger, basically.
It's basically admitting there's something else in the room that hasn't been.
Yeah, there's something else going on here. And I don't know what it is, and that person may not even know what it is, for all I know.